Hello and welcome. This is Alchemist X, and today I am pulling for Nimul and his memento. So the footage is sped up because otherwise it would take way too long, but I wanted to showcase the process of obtaining a whale unit and how just resource intensive that is. Now for me, that is 100% worth it because this is both a character I like and a character that I find very mechanically interesting, even if Otto doesn't. So the process here is to do 5 steps of, or no, yeah, 5 laps of the 5 steps. And, if I'm lucky and pull him along the way, great. If not, then I will transmute him. And that is the process. Now, it's not chosen because it's good. It's chosen because it's the only real option. Because when it comes to units like Nimul, now Bianca, Andex, Dark Mirror, Dark Nyx, etc. That is just the only way to get them unless you get really lucky and pull them from a type of banner where just everything is on the table. But as I'm sure many of you have experienced in the past, those are not reliable. You could do tons and tons of them and never get them. So this is just very, very expensive resource wise, but also just the only reliable way. And then same thing with the memento in general. It's basically 9-step or nothing if you want it now, and you might get lucky later, but definitely I think the memento is less important here. For me, it was just a matter of personal preference of like how badly do I want that skill use +1. And whenever it's a unit with a transformation state, it usually makes the thing more valuable. But if you are in the case of having enough to get Nimul as a unit, but not having enough to get the memento, I would still say get him as a unit because he's pretty awesome. Even if you don't have the memento, you just lose out on a little bit of damage and not have the skill use +1, and then the 10 agility from max limit raking. But nonetheless, his kit is just very, very solid in its foundation in that you're basically getting 2 units in one in a few ways. You're getting a fire physical missile unit, which is something we don't have a ton of, or at least of units that can hit really high numbers in the category of fire physical missile. And then as an added bonus, you also are getting a light magic unit. So I think more than just being a crazy awesome unit to do huge damage numbers, it's more just mechanically fun and interesting. And I find the character interesting in the story was enough to motivate me to go for it. But everybody is different, and if players want to be like really, really frugal with their gems and save them for more Ugachi type situations, it makes perfect sense. Because as far as power level to gem ratio goes, Ugachi definitely has Nimul beat, but they're also not perfectly interchangeable. And character preference is also a really important thing. So as far as evaluating the luck in this banner, it was overall not too bad because unlike previous experiences with this type of banner, there actually were some pretty good pulls along the way, like the 25 Adelaide shards and then acquiring Nikaya. So in that sense, it's already not too bad. But even if you have the worst amount of luck, because it's the only way to get the unit, you're kind of stuck with it. But it's not as bad because if you do it while the unit is new, you're able to get back 100 shards from doing the quest. And then this banner will give you a decent amount of Genesis coins for which to buy buy shards of the unit you acquire. And then if you have to transmute, then you're definitely going to exceed the 20k from the gem spent bonus. And then in this case, that will also give you Genesis coins to get more shards of the unit. So even if you weren't able to surpass it, like if you didn't get 1,000 coins worth to get like 100 shards to push the price up to its maximum, you could at the very least break even from getting the shards. And then also the other really important thing that I feel like I don't mention it enough sometimes as far as like what is gating you, just time itself. Not just because that the time that you have, not just because like the unit will potentially get power crept as time goes forward, but that's just like time that you could be using having fun using the unit. Like in from when I did this video recording on last Sunday and now right before reset, I've had a lot of fun with Nimul. I haven't gotten a lot of like what you'd call like real utility out of him. I got an awesome manual clear of a boss that he was Ambrosia that he was absolutely terrible at autoing, and then just kind of some fun experimenting around whilst farming for runes. But that was about it. So it definitely was a good reminder that just the fun part of the game is really important, because I think if it becomes a chore, then it's not really a not really a game anymore. So in this case, I did get really, really lucky. So this was the step before the final step. So I would have been, if I hadn't gotten him on the next pull, then it would have been a transmute. But I was very, very lucky there. That is a step 1 Bianca, but that's not going to help me too much. But I was pretty happy, because even if you got the very last pull was the unit you're looking for, so you spent the exact same amount of gems as transmuting, that's 150 shards you get to keep. So that combined with Ambrosia, Nikaya, and the Adelaide dupe, I consider myself pretty lucky. So even if I like had the worst possible luck on this banner, which already isn't the case, then I would be pretty glad as far as that goes. But I wanted to reiterate that really for me, it's just I wanted the full kit, and that's why I went for the memento, and there it is. So that is it for the banner. Overall, I am pretty satisfied with how things turned out. So with that, I will see you all next time.